I grew up in Tucson in a family of 6. Getting ready, the kids to go to church and everything, it was really difficult. And sometimes I wonder, because we only have 2 kids, how the heck did my parents do it with 6 kids? So we grew up, and I always knew faith. And we grew up in a Christian home, same with my husband, but we were not ever regular churchgoers. You know, we'd go on holidays and that type of thing. I looked at faith as more of a golden rule type of thing, you know, a way to live your life the right way and everything. And I think I always had faith in my life, but didn't really understand what it meant to live life faithfully. I was kind of leery of organized religion at first, but our babysitter works with Grace kids, and when my kids got a little older, and she said, you know, what about Vacation Bible School? Would you think of doing something like that? And I thought, sure, yeah. I want them to know God, and but I don't want to just send them anywhere. So I said, I want to go to see what the City of Grace is all about. So coming to City of Grace the first time was the first time I really embraced a church. I anchor the early evening news on Channel 3, and my husband is a police sergeant. And with our schedules, he works opposite me, and our kids, Callie is 7 and Caden is 5. So I take the kids with me to church on Sundays, and occasionally my husband's able to go, but I'll tell him, gosh, I wish you could have heard what I learned in church today. And the very first time I brought him along with me, it was interesting because I felt like God kept giving me these little signs that I was on the right path to faith. And the very first time I brought him, you know, we kind of snuck in the back and he sat down, and I was a little nervous how he would react. But I sat down, we settled in, and I looked up and I saw "Welcome Home" in the rafters. And that to me gave me such peace, because I thought, okay, it's another sign from God that this is, be patient. You're in the right place. Welcome home, this is home. And it has felt like home from the very first day. I started seeing signs around me everywhere. My little ones, one day I'm picking up after them in the house. They had taken a ton of books off the bookshelf, and I'm putting them away. And one was a journal. When we got pregnant, every baby, we started, you know, journaling, and I obsessed about it. I like to write. And this journal I hadn't touched in years. It was a journal to our baby who we lost and miscarried at 8 weeks. I just kind of sat down and read that journal again. This had been there in my bookshelf. I had written it, but had not understood the meaning of it until my eyes were opened to faith. So I sat down and I read my last entry, "Dear Baby in Heaven," and I talked about, you know, unanswered prayers. And I remember that being a very hard time in my life, the hardest day in my life when we lost that baby. And I remember questioning my faith and asking God, why? Why us? Why me? Why did this happen? How could you? So it was really hard. I'm looking back in this journal and just having a quiet moment and reading funny things like, oh, today you must be the size of a pinto bean. And I went back to the first entry, and I started reading about how we found out we were pregnant, and we took the little test. We took 2 tests, I remember. I am reading down, and it says, I'll never forget the day, August 11th, 2007. It was a Saturday, and my jaw just dropped, because August 11th, 2007 was when we found out we were pregnant, one of the happiest days, and then we lose this baby. August 11th, 2008, the same day, 1 year to the day later, we had our Callie. And it hit me so hard. And I called my husband right away, I called my parents, and I was like, this is God speaking to me to say. I thought of footprints, about how the toughest times in your life, you ask, why has God forsaken me? And then right there, it had been there all along, that he was right there with me, but I never saw that sign. And it just was like on the page, August 11th. And I thought, this has been, and I've read this before, but only after my eyes were open to faith did I understand that that was God saying, like, I've been here the whole time for you. I started having interactions with people and telling stories about how their lives have been changed, and they would say, it was a miracle. I really prayed to God. God really saved me. And all these little things where God was touching my life, and it made me realize there's angels among us. if we would just open our eyes to faith, it's overwhelming to see how blessed we truly are.